Blood vessels supply motor pathway are very important. A vascular lesions affecting any parts of pathway will have a devastating effect. This is a particularly so in the internal capsules since the same arteries supply not only a motor but also a neighboring sensory pathway. A hemorrhage or an occlusion of a straight ears artery is likely to affect a large area of a body leading to the contractile sensory or and motor sign. This is often called a stroke. Laterals and upper motor neurons control of 3, 4, 6, and 7. The pattern in head and neck as the rest of body is that motor cortex innervates and contralateral motor nuclei. However, muscles which move the eyes and the eyelids and forehead in association with eye movements receive a bilateral cortical innervations. These nuclei concerned are the accumulators, tracula, and absence, and the portion of facials, the motor nuclei which innervates and orbiculars oculi frontals. This must have evolved in association with for the protections of the sense of a right by which means we seek a sentence and mates and avoid danger. This is a limited lateral control of other voluntary motor nuclei as is evidenced by partial recovery of function in a patient after a stroke. Upper and lower motor neurons lesions. If all lower motor neuron passing to the muscles are served, the nucleus will be completely paralyzed. It will be flaccid. It will not be responsive to flex. Since no impulse reach it, it will fairly quickly atrophy as a result of denervation. The injury and the paralysis are on the same side. They are ipsilateral with respect to the each other. Upper motor neuron lesions, spasticity, hyperplexia, contralateral. If upper motor neurons to a muscles are served, the ability to non-control and initiate movements in a muscles may be lost. However, lower motor neurons are intact and since some of fibers to our lower motor neurons from elsewhere are inhibitory, each centers which influence the lower motor neurons, for example, basal ganglia, decrease and increase in muscle tones. Also, reflexes are disinhibited. The muscle will not become atrophied except through disuse. In this case, since upper motor decussate before synapsing with the cell bodies of lower motor neuron, the paralysis will be on the side of opposite to the site of lesion. They are contralateral with respect to each other for a considerations of facial nerves and lower motor neurons. The basic plans of sensory system. The basic sensory system consists of three neuronal groups. Primary sensory neurons from a receptor to a central nucleus with its cell body in a peripheral sensory ganglion. Secondary sensory neurons from a nucleus to the lens pylons. Tertiary sensory neurons from a thalamus to a cortex. There are no synapses outside the brain and spinal cord. The first synapse in a central nervous system between primary and secondary sensory neurons. This extends from a peripheral receptor to a central nervous system. The cell body is situated in a peripheral ganglions, and the neuron is usually a that is gave to rise a single axons which buffer into a peripheral process passing to the receptors and a central process passing into the central nervous system. The cell body is thus both structurally and electrically out on a limb. The central process of primary sensory neuron terminates by synapsing in a central nucleus which consists of the cell bodies by neuron text in a pathway. Next is secondary sensory neuron, sensory nucleus of thalamus. Tertiary sensory neuron, thalamus, internal capsule cortex.